What's up, Magic players? It's Doyle, your host here on DoylePrimeMTG, where I bring you the latest and greatest in Magic content that I can, while still trying to have a life. Today, I do what I thought was impossible, an EDH deck with no permanent spells. Codie, Vociferous Codex is an interesting commander indeed, and I ended up making him work without using the cycling to living in combo.
Forests, islands, mountains, plains, and swamps. The multiverse is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be. There is a tingling in the spine, a faint sensation, as if a distant memory of walking from plane to plane. Our lives have been forever changed, as if by magic. Embark with me on this journey to eternity. Experience the true power of mind over matter as we ignite your spark and traverse into the magic multiverse.
To be fair, this deck is a mid-low tier commander, but there are some fun interactions and it plays out similar to a Storm or a Cascade deck, but in a much more fair and janky way, without any permanent spells. Codie, Vociferous Codex costs 3 generic mana for a legendary 1/4 artifact creature with you can't cast permanent spells, and 4 tap, add Wooburg. When you cast your next spell this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an instant or sorcery card with a lesser mana value. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put each other card exiled this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So since we can't cast permanent spells, we'll be running a deck full of lands, instants, and sorceries. I know many of you are running cycling creatures and such for the living end combo, but I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to use that trick to pull up some of my other favorite zero-cost suspend spells. Okay, so starting us off, we need to ramp up, keeping in mind that our commander is also, in essence, a mana dork. We won't be running any rocks in this deck, so let us begin with some sorcery swag. Rampant Growth, Farseek, Nature's Lore, 3 Visits, and Into the North will kick us off just right, bringing up our Triomes or Slow Snow Duels to the forefront of battle. Cultivate and Kodama's Reach are some classic commander ramp spells that I couldn't leave behind in this spell-heavy monstrosity. Harrow and Roiling Regrowth will also add to the acceleration and fixing of our mana base. Skyshroud Claim and Blighted Woodland will close out our ramp section, each giving us a chance to ramp up twice on a single card. Next, we draw out more spells to cast. Windfall and Wheel of Misfortune easily refill our hand, as we often will be casting our entire hand quickly. Each of these has the ability to draw us a full grip of new cards. Urban Evolution is a slam dunk, drawing us 3 cards and giving us the opportunity to ramp as well. Factor Fiction and Dig Through Time are 2 very reliable draw spells in blue that guarantee us something good. We also have some loot, rummage, and cantrip type spells as well. Limduel's Vault lets us select the perfect set of 5 cards atop our library. Manamorphose can help us fix our mana as it cantrips. Frantic Search can provide a looting effect while refunding us the mana spent. We can also get our key pieces back from the grave with Mystic Retrieval, Regrowth, and Bala Ged Recovery. The rest of this deck tech I want to do a bit more unorganized since our commander is so unique. So the idea here is we get to use Codie's ability to guarantee the cast of 1 of 3 free spells: Ancestral Vision, Crashing Footfalls, and Wheel of Fate. Each can be cast off of Codie's ability guaranteed when we cast a 1 CMC spell. The Vision and the Wheel will get us as many cards as we need, digging to reach our key cogs to this crazy machine. While the Footfalls will allow us to build up an army of 4/4 tokens, with which we can finish off our enemies. Don't worry, this is not the only finisher we have in this deck. Since we are going to want to cast these spells reliably, multiple times, we're going to need to shuffle them back into our library. We have 3 spells that help us do just this, with Dwell on the Past, Serene Remembrance, and Stream of Thought. Each of these can help shuffle cards from our graveyard into our library, keeping our engine running. We will also want to be able to use Codie multiple times in a turn. so the rest of our 1 CMC spells will mostly be untapping Codie. Burst of Strength, Cerulean Wisps, Dirgiru's Resolve, Stony Strength, Triton Tactics, and Twiddle will each untap Codie for additional uses, and also can help find our 0 CMC suspend spells if they are the spells that are triggering Codie. The rest of the deck is where we can get creative. Our control section makes up much of the rest of the deck. Let's start this out with our tutors and what those tutors can find us. Let's start with the fun tutor, Conflux. No, not the set, the card. This card lets us tutor for 1 card of each color, reveal them, and put them into our hand. Of course, Codie will be helping us out quite a bit with the color fixing. We also have Muddle the Mixture, which can find us a 2 CMC spell from our deck, or it can counter something. Most notably, we can find removal pieces like Assassin's Trophy, Despark, Artifact Mutation, Aura Mutation, and even Winds of Abandon or Cyclonic Rift. And finally, Bring to Light is the most wonderful tutor in this deck. Notably, this is essentially a second copy of the MVP of this deck. Fractured Identity can exile target creature and give a token copy to each other player that didn't control the target. This means that we can target Codie and actually block our opponents from casting permanent spells until they find a way to sacrifice the tokens. But we came prepared for that restriction, and our opponents did not. Of course, we can also tutor up some other 5 CMC things like Promise of Loyalty, Single Combat, or Time Wipe. Heck, we could even find and cast Time Warp and take an extra turn. We can also reliably take endless turns if our deck is small enough, but I won't get into that. We can also copy some spells with Narset's Reversal and Increasing Vengeance, each with their own additional perks. Chaos Warp, Generous Gift, and Beast Within will each grant us some indiscriminate permanent removal. Crozan Grip and Vandalblast will each provide us with some more specific yet powerful removal. Culling Ritual will provide us a large burst of mana and a mini wipe. I'm quite excited to see how this piece works in a serious setting. We also have a couple of board wipes that can't be cast off of Bring to Light, with Dune Blast and Azuri's Predation. Each of these are very powerful board wipes that often spell victory. We also included Strip Mine and Wasteland, which I would highly recommend proxying if you don't own them. They help to control our opponent's strong lands, and also can be retrieved with Life from the Loam to make a fair game turn quite the opposite. This leaves us with closing out the game. Stormseeker seeks to take our opponents down one at a time, dealing damage to target player equal to the number of cards in their hand. Tendrils of Agony can scale up in power thanks to the Storm mechanic, causing 2 life to be drained from an opponent for each time a spell was cast this turn. Rise from the Tides can amass myriad zombie tokens equal to the number of non-permanent cards in our graveyard. Field of the Dead can take advantage of all the ramp pieces by generating us zombies on a landfall ability. Since we have so many different lands, we can reliably trigger this very often. And finally, Ink Shield can allow us to block our opponent's big swing, and instead give us twice the attacking power in the air. Of course, there is one more way to win. If we run out of options, we do happen to generate a bunch of mana, so why not hit the opponents with a book? Kessig Wolf Run is a fun surprise way to hit hard with our commander when our opponents are least expecting it. For lands, I went with my standard budget 5-color base: Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Forbidden Orchard, and Spire of Industry. Okay, that last one isn't standard, but our commander is an artifact, so let's just roll with it. I've also included the 5 Triomes, along with 7 of the Slow Snow Duels, notably prioritizing the ones that can tap for either blue or green. That leaves us room for 5 snow-covered forests and 2 of each other snow-covered basic land. That about wraps it up for this deck tech. I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll find the link to the full deck list on arcadeck.com in the description, complete with a maybe board. Let me know in the comments below if you would take this deck in a different direction, or if there are any key includes that I missed. Cheers, and happy casting! If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, and also share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like these, or hear me ramble about how to navigate this Magic multiverse, go ahead and click that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest from me, Doyle Prime, and the happenings throughout Magic the Gathering. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you all next video.